Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. My name is Shashank and in the today's module we will see the computer forensics and investigation process. So let's begin. In this module we will see the different investigating methods of computer crimes, then procedures before the investigation and after the investigations. Then we will see the computer forensics investigation methodology, then including every steps of investigation, including collection of evidence, securing the evidence, then acquiring and analyzing the data, and to access the evidence in the case and to prepare the final report, and also about the testifying in the court as an expert witness. And we will also see the computer forensics service providers. So let's begin. Investigating computer crime. Determine if an accident hasn't occurred. Then find and interpret the clues left behind. Then conduct preliminary assessment to search for the evidence and search and seize the computer equipments which are involved in the crime. Then collect evidence that can be presented in the court of law or at the corporate inquiry. So, this is the scenario of investigating a computer crime. Then, what we need to have and what we should do before the investigation. So, first of all, have a proper workstation and a data recovery lab. Build a investigating team for investigation. Then enter into alliance with local district attorney. Then review policies and laws. Notify decision makers and acquire authorization. Assess risk. Build a computer investigation toolkit and define the methodology. Then, what we need to have and what we should do to build a forensic workstation. Computer forensics approach should be clearly defined before building a forensic workstation. The computer forensics workstation should have facilities and tools to support hardware-based local and remote network drive duplication, validate the image and file integrity, identify the date and time when the files have been modified, accessed or created, identify the deleted files, support the removable media, and also isolate and analyze the free drive space. Building the investigating team, or we can say building of the investigation team. Determine the person who should respond to an incident for a successful internal computer investigation. Identify team members and assign a responsibility to each member. Assign one team member as the technical lead for the investigation. Keep the investigation team as small as possible to ensure confidentiality and to protect organization against unwanted information leaks. Ensure that every team member has a necessary clearance and authorization to conduct assigned tasks. Engage a trusted external investigation team if your organization does not have personnel with the necessary skills. Then, which are the people and or we can say who are the people involved in the computer forensics? This people includes attorney, photographer, incident responder, decision maker, evidence examiner, or we can say investigator. Then we can include evidence documenter, evidence manager, and at last a expert witness. Then building a computer investigation toolkit. Investigators need a collection of hardware and software tools to acquire data during an investigation. Computer investigation toolkit contains a laptop computer with appropriate software tools, operating system and patches, application media, then to have a right protected backup devices, then a blank media and a basic networking equipment and cables. Then steps to prepare for a computer forensics investigation. First of all, gather the available informations such as email addresses, list of names, and many more that might assist in forensic investigation. Note down the users who accessed the computer prior to investigator securing the image. Try to find out what files they accessed when this occurred and reason of accessing computer. Maintain a chain of custody for the original media which indicates the location, possession of the media has been and reason for that possession. Search for the relevant data by developing a list of keywords or phrases. Then, what is a computer forensics methodology? It includes a various steps in it. The first step is to obtain a search warrant for the investigation. This search warrant we can get from attorney or from the officials. Then to evaluate and secure the scene. To evaluate and secure the scene, there are so many things which are necessary for us. That is photography first of all. In this forensics photography, we can do that snapshots of the evidence and the incident prone areas need to be taken to help in the forensic process. Then take the photographs of all the evidence or that which helps in evidence finding. Then label the photographed evidence according to the methodology. Then photograph the evidence after the label is applied. Then digital photography helps to capture, edit and transfer the image faster. Digital photography helps in correcting the perspective of the image which is used in taking the measurements of the evidence. Then gather preliminary information at the scene. When an incident occurs, the following information should be gathered: date and time, place and location of the incident, evidence from a volatile system and non-volatile system, details of the person present at the crime scene, and the name and identification of the people or person who can serve as a potential witness. Then comes the collection of evidence. In the collection of evidence, there are various people, or we can say various officers who take part. In that, the first responder. The first person, or we can say the first responder, is the person at the crime scene of the incident should collect and preserve as much as evidence possible. What is evidence? Evidence on all sorts of device present at the scene of the incident should be collected. Then law. Follow all the laws while collecting the evidence and contact a computer forensic examiner as soon as possible. Then the collection of the physical evidence. To preserve the integrity of the physical evidence, all the pieces of evidence should be collected, handled and carefully and should be properly managed. The objects identified as evidence should be tagged. To tag provides detailed information about the evidence. The physical evidence includes removable media, cables, publications, all computer equipments, including the peripherals. Then items taken from the trash. This is the evidence collection form. Whenever evidence is collected, then its proper detail should be done, and then the chain of custody should be followed. Collection of electronic evidence. List the system involved in the incident and form which system's evidence can be collected. For each system, obtain the relevant order of volatility. Record the extent of the system clock drift. Collect the evidence from the people who are part of the incident. Then capture the electronic serial number of the drive and other user accessible host specific data. Then write, protect and virus check all media to maintain the integrity of the media and the evidence. Electronic evidence consists of data files, backup tapes, and some other media sources. Data files includes office desktop computer, that is workstation, then notebook computers, home computers, computers of personal assistants, palm top devices, and network file servers. Backup tapes includes system-wide backups, that is from monthly, weekly, or incremental. Then disaster recovery backups, then personal backups. Then other media sources includes tape archives, replaced drives or removed drives, then floppy disk and other portable medias. Then the guidelines for acquiring evidence. Sample banners are used to record the system activities when used by the unauthorized user. In warning banners, organizations give clear and unequivocal notice to intruders that by signing on to the system, they are expressly consenting to such monitoring. The equipment is seized which is connected to the case, knowing the role of the computer which will indicate what should be taken. At the time of seizing process, the computer should not be powered down. Ensure that the examiner's storage device is forensically clean when acquiring the evidence. Right protection should be initiated, if available, to preserve and protect the original device. Original evidence. Then comes the securing the evidence. For the securing the evidence, there are certain steps which should be followed. Secure the evidence without damaging the evidence. Place the evidence in a secure site by not allowing any intruders to access it. Maintain the chain of custody to properly track the evidence. Identify digital and non-digital artifacts to separate the evidence according to their behavior. Maintain a logbook at the entrance of the lab to log in the timings and name of the person visited. Place an intrusion alarm system in the entrance of the forensic lab. Contact law enforcement agencies to know how to preserve the evidence. Then, evidence management. Evidence management helps in protecting the true temperament of the evidence. Documentation. This is achieved by proper handling and documentation of the evidence. Then comes the evidence transfer. At the time of the evidence transfer, both sender and receiver need to give the information about date and time of transfer in the chain of custody record. Then comes the procedures. The procedures used to protect the evidence and document when collecting and shipping are the logbook of the project, a tag to uniquely identify an evidence, a chain of custody record. Chain of custody. Chain of custody is a legal document that demonstrates the progression of evidence as it travels from original evidence location to the forensic laboratory. It governs the collection, handling, storage, testing, and deposition of the evidence. It safeguards against tampering with or substitution of evidence. Documents that these steps have been carried out are maintained in chain of custody. The chain of custody form should identify the sample collector, sample description, its type, and the number. Sampling data and location. Any custodians of the sample. We can say this is the chain of custody record form where all the method, or we can say all the evidence or the person who are involved in maintaining the chain of custody can be listed here, and we can see over here. Then comes acquiring the data. Original evidence should never be used for analysis. This is the main rule of acquiring the data. To examine any evidence, the evidence, or we can say any data, should be duplicated first of all. Duplicate the data to preserve the original data. The data should be duplicated bit by bit to represent the same original data. The data can be duplicated through hardware or software. The duplicated data is sent to the forensic lab for the further analysis. Then verifying the image integrity. MD5 hash. It calculate and match the MD5 hash for the original evidence and the forensic evidence. Same hash values shows the image is same as the evidence. Here are some of the tools for calculating the hash value, which include HashCalc, MD5 calculator, HashMyFiles, and MD5 sum. Here are some of the images of the MD5 hash calculators. Now we will see the recovery of lost or deleted data. For the recovery of lost or deleted data, many softwares are used, like Recover My Files, Digital Rescue Premium, EASEUS Data Recovery Wizard, PC Inspector File Recovery, Advanced Disk Recovery, and Total Recall. Here are the images of data recovery software like Recover My File and EasyUS Data Recovery Wizard. Now comes the main part, that is analyzing the data. Data analysis. Thoroughly analyze the acquired data to draw conclusion related to the case. Data analysis techniques depend on the scope of the case or client's requirement. This phases includes analysis of the file content, date and time of the file creation and modification, users associated with the file creation, access and file modification, and physical location of the file, the timeline generation, and the identity and categorization data in order of relevance. Forensic tools helps in sorting and analyzing of a large volume of data to draw meaningful conclusions. For example, data analysis tools are like Access Data's FTK, guidance software that is EnCase Forensics, Brian Carrier's forensic tool that is the Sleuth Kit. These are the data analysis tools. Then comes assessing the evidence and case. The digital evidence should be thoroughly assessed with respect to the scope of the case to determine the course of action. Conduct a thorough assessment by reviewing the search warrant or other legal authorization, case detail, nature of the hardware and software, potential evidence sought, and the circumstances according to the acquisition of the evidence to be examined. For the case assessment, review the case investigator request for the service. Identify the legal authority for the forensics examination request. Document the chain of custody. Discuss whether other forensic processes need to be performed on the evidence, that is DNA analysis or fingerprint. Determine the potential evidence being sought, that is the photographs, spreadsheets, documents, databases, and the financial records. The best practices to assess the evidence. Analyze the physical and logical evidence for the value to the case. Use a safe cabinet to secure the evidence. Examine the network service logs for any events of interest. Examine the large amount of the host data where only a portion of the data might be relevant to the incident. Perform offline analysis on a bitwise copy of the original evidence. Search the contents of all the gathered files to help identify files that may be of interest. Review the time and date stamps in the file system metadata. Correlate the file headers to corresponding file extensions to identify and mismatches. Review the file names for relevance and patterns. Then comes the preparation of the final report. Documentation should be done in each phase, that is while accessing the data, acquiring the data, and also while analyzing the data. Each phase should be documented properly for the final report. Gathering and organizing the information. Documentation in each phase should be identified for its relevance in the investigation. The procedure is gather all notes from assess, acquire, and analyze phase. Then identify parts of the documentation that are relevant to the investigation. Identify facts to support the conclusions you will make in the report. Create a list of all evidence to be submitted with the report. List any conclusion you wish to make in your report. Organize and classify the information you gathered to ensure that you get a clear and concise report. This all is for gathering and organizing the information, so the documentation will be done properly and systematically. While writing the investigation report, report writing is a crucial stage in the outcome of the investigation. Information included in the report section is as such: purpose of the report, author of the report, incident summary, evidence, details, conclusions, and the supporting documents. All this should be maintained properly while writing an investigation report. Here are some of the sample reports, as you can see. Finally, it comes to the testify as an expert witness. Expert witness. An expert witness is a person who has a thorough knowledge of a subject and whose credentials can convince others to believe his or her opinions on that subject in a court of law. What is the role of an expert witness? to investigate a crime, evaluate the evidence, educate the public and court, and to testify in the court. While testifying in the courtroom, presenting digital evidence in the court requires knowledge of new, specialized, evolving, and sometimes complex technology. Familiarize with the usual procedures that are followed during a trial. The attorney introduces the expert witness with high regards. The opposing counsel may try to discredit the expert witness. The attorney would lead the expert witness through the evidence. Later, it is followed by the cross-examination with the opposing counsel. Closing the case. The investigator should include what was done and result in the final report. Basic report includes who, what, when, and where and how type of questions. In a good computing investigation, the step can be repeated and the results obtained are same every time. The report should explain the computer and network processes and inner working of the system. The investigator should provide explanation for various processes and various interrelated components. So here you can see some of the companies which are providing the computer forensic services. These are as below, that is CCF and Penrod Ellis. Now the module summary. Here are some of the listed points which are important while doing a forensic investigator in cybercrime or digital crime. Collect evidence that can be presented in the court of law or at a corporate inquiry. Maintain a proper chain of custody for each piece of original media, indicating where the media has been, whose possession it has been in, and the reason for that possession. Obtain proper written authorization from an authorized decision maker to conduct the computer investigation. The first person at the scene of the incidents should collect and preserve as much as evidence as possible. Thank you so much for watching our video, and in this following series you will get to know so many other things while watching our videos, and make sure to drop a like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. And you can also visit our website, that is www.thescihub.in. The link to our social media handles and to our website is listed down below in the description box. Thank you so much for watching our video. Thank you.